Hey, it's Jim from Delano Mountain Custom Models. I'm going to do a layout tour for a number of reasons. One, I finally got all of my freight cars and engines weathered. Two, I got all the lighting done down here. And three, I have a number of engines and entire trains that are going to be on sale. So I just want everybody to know that you're just not buying from some hack, that I did all this work myself, and I had a business for a number of years. So why don't I just kind of walk you through the entire layout, and then subsequently I'm going to be passing whole trains by in other videos that are going to be for sale. So why don't we go over here. This was my original part of my layout. So there's a big freight yard in the middle, and then it does two loops. It goes through a tunnel, so there's a short tunnel on top, and then there's a long tunnel that comes under the bottom there. And I have a piece of paper I'll show you, but you could see that there's one tunnel there that goes into the freight yard, and then the other tunnel goes to the main car shops. I'll get to the freight yard in a minute. So there's an engine servicing facility. That blank spot there, I'm building an engine servicing building that will have like 3 bays in it. So that's going to be really cool when it's done. There's a whole Amtrak train there with Tsunami Sound and 2 Kato P42s with all the Superliner cars. There's an NS ballast train. Here's a manifest with 3 Bowser Ontario Northland SD40-2s. Kind of see the track layout here. I have a number of different crossovers. At this point here, in the middle of the freight yard, there's double crossovers there. So here you can see the freight yard. It's a nice sized freight yard. A little bit condensed, but enough to do set-offs and pickups here. Those are all triple turnouts. All the hand throws are on there. I'll walk over here. So then I put 2 Ys in. Here's the first Y here, so I could run trains either direction coming out of the intermodal yard. And then here you can see the crossovers here. There's my control station, which I'll get to in a moment. And then here's my intermodal yard. So there's 6 tracks for the intermodal yard, and then there's 2 tracks that are the main tracks, and then I'm building a gigantic crane. So I got it to a certain point, but like I need to finish that, and then that's my workstation there. I'm just going to go over here. Here's where I do all my weathering and all my photographing to the right there. I'm going to set this down. So here's my control station. So I originally had this for DC, so it's all blocked off, but it's DCC now. So here's all my blocks. These are the blocks for the intermodal yard, and these are the blocks for the main. So here's another view of the freight yard. So typically I would come in, set off cars, pick them up. That track comes back over here, and then it hooks in at that point there. And then this track here goes behind the heater, and this is the other Y that I have that goes behind my heater. And you can see I have a crossover in there, and then that goes behind the heater, and I'll get to that in a moment. Here's a schematic of my layout, which I'm converting hopefully to computer control. So I'd be able to control all the trains from my computer, get everything blocked off. Here's all my trains consisted with each of the units, so I can easily tell which trains I'm running. And to be honest with you, this would require more than one operator to operate trains on here. At least 2, maybe even 3 if you're doing yard work. And so I'll pause here for a second. So you can get a better deal than online if you search up my handle. You can find everything that's for sale, and you'll definitely get 13% off. That's the valuation fee. Reach out to me at that if there's anything that you see here or anything that you see up online, and I'll be able to accommodate you. And again, so here that track comes in. Here's the Y. This eventually was going to be like some intermodal facility, but I'll just walk you through. And I have more equipment. Just finished those engines there, and then this kind of collapses down. This is my work area. Just do a quick walk around my work area. That goes behind the heater. That's my milling station. And then that goes back onto the main layout, and you can see there's a crossover there, so they could go either direction. So I could do pretty much anything I want without stopping a train and having to run the power around. And you can see all my lighting. And then if you go over here, I just finished these 3 Bowsers here, and then this track goes this way, and then just finished those guys, and I just finished that complete tank train, and you can see the layout of all the track there. And then that's my dad's complete timetable collection, mostly Conrail and Conrail predecessors, PC, Reading, Lehigh Valley, etc. I'm actually looking for a good home for that stuff. If you're interested in that, let me know. I could work out some price for you. But there's a lot of stuff in there, which I won't get into on this video. So that's the tour. Again, there's a tunnel there. This is all open here, but you can see, well, you can't see there unless I do this. That goes out there, and then this single track that you see there, that single track goes around, and right where the Amtrak engine is, so I could cross over a train, go completely into the yard, bring the whole train in the yard without clogging up the main, and then it could come in the yard, do set-offs and pickups, and then go back onto the main again. And there you see all the track, which is pretty cool. That worked out really nice. A lot of trial and error to get that to work. And this was my programming station right here. That's it. This all needs to be painted. Most of the pink was painted black like you saw on the rest of my layout. I need to do this one section yet. I haven't got to it. I had a ton of stuff to do. I was trying to get rid of a lot of stuff on eBay that I had in boxes. A lot of stuff from my business, a lot of control boards, decals, that kind of stuff. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Look for the videos that I'm going to be having soon, where I'm actually operating the trains. Again, I could run one train in the direction that the Amtrak train is running, and that'll go all the way around through the intermodal terminal behind my heater and then back again. So that's a longer run, and then the shorter run is the one where you see the NS Stone train. That'll just run around a loop twice. But then I have this controlled siding here. So on that controlled siding, so I could just dump a train onto that siding there without clogging the main up. And you could see I don't have a tunnel, but that's coming out of the Y, so if I want to run a train opposed, it can come out through there and connect onto my layout right there. So, and all of the turnouts are operated from these Lentz controllers. I probably need to buy one more because I'm out of, so I have 15, or no, I have 18 on that, but I probably need more. I have some hand throws, like this one's a hand throw here, which I actually need a controller to control that one, and there's a couple others that I would like to control remotely. Anyhow, thanks for watching. It's been a long time coming, but I finally got all the LED lighting up on my ceiling, and it was immensely helpful to get rid of all that fluorescent lighting and be able to have a well-lit layout to kind of display everything. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.